We'll get away from politics here just for one little blurb and talk about something that concerns me and concerns you too. This is has to do with off-planet artificiality. Okay, I could sit here and talk about what I know or what I think I know. All I can actually talk about really though is what my eyes have shown me, and that is once removed because I'm um, studying pictures that were taken by satellites, by telescopes. That includes also satellites because some of the better telescopes today are in orbit. But explorers, okay? We have done a fair amount of exploring on the moon. We do have rovers on the moon, Mars, and out in space. And they're looking at many things. They're doing flybys and things like that. The European Space Agency and NASA, even though they do redact their photos quite heavily because of what is evident in these photos, and they've been doing that with the moon photos for quite some time, um, they can't redact it all. And this is something that I knew. I said, well, you know, if these things that they are taking out of the photos or restricting the people from seeing are there, you know, they're not isolated instances. There's other things that even they can't perceive, and that is totally correct. That's 100% correct. A lot of the photos that are released are have been gone over, and the most sensitive things, the things that show recognizable aspects of past human habitation on the moon, Mars, and other planets, our old empire, our crumbled empire, our dead empire. And this was the garden, and that's all that's left. Something we made for ourselves to produce our food and our drugs. There's plenty of evidence of all this. One of the places that you like to visit is called keithlaney.net. KEITHLANEY.net. Keith is a photographic specialist. He's a little hooked into the Jesus thing, and I pray for you, dude. Whatever, you know, I'm just not into the Semitic male worship thing. What can I say? I just it's not my program, and more power to you. You do what you want. Keith does not push that on people, and I give him a lot of credit for that. I hope you find some comfort in it, brother, because he works really hard at what he does, and he's a gifted musician. He works with young people, and he's just basically a good guy. You go there to keithlaney.net, and you look at the pictures that he's worked with, and you'll see, look up Nansen, look up the mining on Mars. He enhances the pictures, adds color to them, and he's actually a professional at this. He's done work with NASA before over it. And some of the visitors to his site at the Hidden Mission Forum are aware of the things that I'm talking about. And even though things get a little gnarly there sometimes, you'll find probably more truth at that one site, real truth, than anywhere else on the net that I know of anyway. And you can go there to the forum. The link is right at the top of Keith's page. Keith's, site is humongous, so you could spend a lot of time there. keithlaney.net. There's other places now. You want to go over to the Hidden Mission. No, that's on Keith Laney's. Pardon me, I am repeating myself. The Enterprise Mission. ENTERPRISEMISSION.com. Over there is a lot more about this type of thing, although it's Richard Hoagland's site, and Richard also is an ex-NASA consultant, employee, whatever. He knows a lot also, and he works with photographs and has, although he's kind of turned it into a show, and you know, Richard is sort of that way. He embraces pop media for all the bad that they've done to him. He still thinks that it's going to work, and some people just can't get out of that mindset. And but anyway, the Enterprise mission is definitely a worthy stop on your journey if you're interested in finding out who we are, what we were, and possibly what is just laying around for the taking if you can learn to recognize it. The thing that I've always said is the things that they teach in school are, that we evolved from this, that, and the other thing, and that it's happened in a certain way. And that's probably not true. They're just patching it together as best they can. It's like religion. They're just trying to figure it out and trying to put it together as best they can. Sure, life did evolve here. It has evolved here. This planet has gone through many different phases. It was actually mined extremely heavily at one time, and then it was restored to become the garden. That's when the moon was brought in. That's when it was made water rich, and the tides were the moon is actually to control the tides and to be a storage depot and transportation depot. It's many things. The moon, there's a lot on the moon, and all the astronauts that went there saw it, and the pictures are blatant, even though they are heavily redacted. And so you can start with that. You can also look up the Clementine mission. NASA has all those pictures online. There's huge panoramic pictures of things you need to know. On YouTube itself, there's many people now that are getting into the off-planet artificiality, the ruins on the moon and on Mars especially. And if you just start perusing these pictures directly from NASA or over at Keith Laney's site where they've been heightened just slightly, you'll start finding artifacts and order within the chaos of the rubble that is unmistakable. Pieces of pipes, pieces of statues. There's lots of other things. So it's worthwhile, if you can open your mind that far, you'll be able, though, to kind of depart from the rest of reality, because you'll realize that all this stuff that's on television and that they teach you in the churches, and it's all a bunch of, I can't say it's like lies, purposeful. It's the best that they've been able to come up with, but who are they? They're nothing. They don't even have the wherewithal to question. So don't listen to those people, really. Now the net is here. You are on your own. This is the new frontier. This is the only way you can get away from government, and that's by firmly whapping them on the snout with your fist. That's the only way to get those dogs off your tail. But they will go away because they're just dogs.